The radio station I listen to is actually in the 18th district of New York that I sometimes listen to, I should say. And this is Pat Ryan's district. He is running against Allison Esposito. She is a Republican congressional candidate. It's interesting, the ads. It's really interesting to hear because Pat Ryan is in a purple-ish district. The 19th is a little bit more reddish purple. And his ads have consisted of two things. One has been Social Security. Esposito, and they've been attacking Esposito for endangering Social Security and potentially Medicare. And the other has been abortion. Those are the two ads that Pat Ryan has been running. And apparently Allison Esposito really doesn't want to talk about abortion. And it's not like she's running away from it, even though she apparently was very excited that the Supreme Court did the right thing, she said. Here is an NBC News report. I think it's local news, or maybe it's I don't know if it's NBC national.
She's speaking with Ali Vitali.
Oh, so it is. Yeah. So it's Ali Vitali. And she's speaking with Allison Esposito. They're going door knocking, and Esposito makes the argument, listen, abortion's not a big deal. People care about immigration.
As far as abortion, my opponent wants to make this entire election about abortion, and it's not even a factor in this race. All right, so now my question to voters as I'm walking around, I appreciate your support very much. If I had a magic wand and I could fix something day one, what do you think is the biggest issue right now facing, the American public? What would you like to see fixed first?
I would like to see a timeline on abortion.
A timeline on abortion.
In other words, abortion, we're, how can I put it? We don't think that people should be told, no, you can't, but you can't wait until...
We just had this conversation.
Right.
You can't
wait till the very end, right? And say 4 months. Okay. 4 months cutoff. If you don't know by then, or you haven't decided by then, adoption.
See, but that's funny. Like we were saying, abortion doesn't come up. He cares.
Funny.
So funny. There you go.
Might not be what we thought he was going to say.
No, but that's not usually the top issue. But you know what? It is still an issue on people's minds.
All right. Well, yeah. There you go.
That did not go the way that she hoped.
Wanted it. Those upstate races, it is all about immigration for them. They are trying to create just incredible anti-immigrant sentiment, and so much of this goes back to 2022 and Eric Adams and Kathy Hochul. I mean, the New York Democratic Party is an absolute crap show. Absolute crap show. New York State should be leading the way with progressive legislation. New York State should be, we should have some of the boldest progressives from the country, from New York State. We have one or two, but this is just, the Democrats are a disaster in this.
I mean, Nancy Pelosi knows it. She was criticizing Hochul. Hochul is -20 in net favorability, and Eric Adams was just indicted on a bunch of corruption charges. And there was hope that Hochul would say, okay, this is so ridiculous, use her power to force him to resign, because she actually could do that. But you know what they're more worried about, as is the case, I think, is my theory with most New York Democrats? They don't want, I think it would be Jumaane Williams, right, who would become the mayor at that point. And that would give him a leg up in this crowded race to replace Adams. So they'd rather just continue to be the party of corruption, the party that cedes every talking point on crime to the Republicans, and they're going to pursue the Long Island strategy that the New York Democrats under Jay Jacobs have pursued to, and he just got reelected as the chair. It's been an unmitigated disaster where they're just Republicans light. This is one of the bluest, most populous states in the country. This strategy has been a complete failure, and they continue to pursue it because it's all about the people in the suburbs. It's the same reason that she nixed that congestion pricing thing at the 11th hour.
And I am convinced that the reason is because so many of the people in New York State politics see getting into politics as literally an extension of their business interests. Yep. Like, I mean, I've seen this in local politics, and I mean, you look at that guy who people may forget this in Buffalo. What was her name?
India Walton.
India Walton won the Democratic primary. She unseated the incumbent. She avowed socialist. He ran against her. The Democratic Party seemed to work against her for this guy. And this guy just announced his retirement early to go get some type of corporate job. And he's taking a bunch of his cronies with him.
A betting job.
And so many of these ilk go into politics. I mean, frankly, I think they would be Republicans if this was a Republican state.
Yeah.
They go into politics because they see it as an opportunity to extend their basically their business networking, that this is a way of handing out the money. And I think that impacts. I'm not saying that only right wingers are corrupt, but I think that when you have a preponderance or a certain number of them, then it impacts what they want the sort of like political outcomes to be, because they want people who are going to play ball. I don't want to be, the corruption, I think, dovetails nicely with an ideology that is centrist or Republican leaning. That's, I guess, my point. Remember Trump's 2020 election interference case? He pled not guilty, but only after making it clear that he, quote, had every right to do so. Ground News found 90 sources covering this with significantly less reporting from the right. And going through these articles, you can see there's no mention from conservative outlets of what looks like Trump's confession. Now, the left points this could be the very thing that helps Jack Smith finally convict him. This type of selective reporting is the exact problem we've been talking about with today's news. Rather than adding clarity to an already confusing election season and political landscape, the news can easily contribute to it. That's why we're longtime partners of Ground News. Their platform is designed for people who want to go beyond the headlines to deeply understand today's current events from every perspective. And with Trump and Harris often at the center of very selective reporting, I highly recommend following the news on the debate and the rest of their campaign here, so you can avoid being manipulated by the news you see and the news you don't. I think their mission directly aligns with what we try and do here on our show. Plus, they're independent and subscriber funded. But my viewers get 40% off their top tier Vantage plan. Go on to ground.news/majority or scan my QR code to compare coverage with context you can't find anywhere else. Hey, folks, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and check out our daily show. We do it every day at 12 p.m. Eastern for about 2.5 hours. We even take phone calls. You should check that out.